One.
Hello, everyone. We're very excited to celebrate the National Science Day today on the 28th of February, 2025. It's an honor to be here. I'm Dr. Harpreet A. Singh. I'm the president of IWPA, the International Women Professionals in Aviation and Aerospace. I'm also the G100 country chair, the CEO of HARPS, and the national president for WICI, Integrated Management System. And we have a wonderful lady today with us, amazing in her passion, in her commitment, and the right person to speak to all of you today on this National Science Day. But before we begin, and I give her the opportunity to tell all about the activities that she's progressing with, we must know what this National Science Day is all about. It was constituted in India since 1986, and it is actually to honor Sir C.V. Raman, who actually started the Raman effect, and he got a Nobel Prize for that in 1930. And in the world of science, his name is so well known. And he experimented with light scattering, etc. And I'm sure the students who are involved with physics and science, they know all about the Raman effect. But in his memory, we celebrate this day. And all these organizations that you see in the backdrop are supporting this world of science. And today we have the CEO and founder herself of Space Kids India. Over to you, Dr. Srimathy Kesan. We are so honored to have you here today. I would request you initially to tell a little bit about yourself and your organization. Over to you.
I should say Vanakkam from South India. Thank you so much for inviting me over on this special day. I mean, it truly feels so good because, very, very handful of Nobel laureates in India. And I think for physics, for science per se, I think there are only two people. So it is even more special that, I have been invited on this special day. To talk about myself, I'm Dr. Srimathy Kesan, founder, CEO of Space Kids India. We are an organization who design, build, and launch satellites, and all by high school and university students. It was
wow! Give her a big round of applause for this, even if you're watching online. Can you imagine what you just said? Please repeat, Dr. Srimathy.
So Space Kids India is an organization where we design, build, and launch satellites by high school and university students. It all started in 2010 when I went to Miami and, had an opportunity to interact with the Space Force directors of Kennedy Space Center, NASA. And, so many students from across the globe were going there for a space camp. And we from India, who are supposed to be so brainy and so focused on education, science, and everything, did not have a presence there. So that triggered, and Space Kids India was formed. I had started taking children there. So it started as a scientific, educational or awareness creating organization to bridge the gap between students and space. And but slowly what happened after about 3,500 children, I had, I was so excited taking them there, and then to European Space Center, and then to the Russian Space Center, because all this was, scarce here. Children were not allowed to go even from Chennai to Bangalore then. So for them, to break that and take them there was something humongous. But after that period, what happened was, like, I started reverse engineering because I wanted children from the humble backgrounds to experience. I was able to take one or two children in every trip of ours, but that was not enough for, the population that we have in India. This is not only for children who are blessed with, money. I thought there needs to be something done. So from then on, I completely stopped that and started working on bringing that NASA concept into India, a space research park wherein every child will have an opportunity to feel zero gravity, to feel the simulations and everything. Of course, I had made presentations to Honorable Prime Minister twice and then with the chief ministers, but yet we are not there. Everybody is so excited about the whole thing, but waiting for that right moment. So in the meantime, I thought, what is it that the youth of our country needs to do in the space industry, in the space domain? And I said, satellites are one thing, rockets are another. But people went mad. They said, I mean, how can you build a satellite with youngsters? How can you build a rocket? Because everything was something that the government was supposed to do, and ISRO is there. So when ISRO is there, how can you do that? There is no private industry. In 2015, when I started, there was no precedence that there were student satellites and everything. One ANUSAT by Anna University, that was academia. But something like a private organization, and that too with youngsters who were as young as 8th grade, 10th grade and all.
Wow.
Impossible.
Hey, that's really young. That's really young.
Yes.
Okay. But how did you get okay, you did explain about how you were inspired to start this, but how do you get the raw material and how do you manage to actually build it and with young minds to help you? Of course, all the energy of the youth will be there, but how do you actually put it all together? It's amazing.
See, everything, Harpreet, was available around us. It was just that we exactly needed to know where to tap, what to tap, how to bring all the components together. Of course, when we started in 2015, I should say it was so funny that, we made a beautiful presentation. I mean, not a PowerPoint presentation, but a spiral bound book. Because in those days, I should say a decade ago and all that, a spiral bound book and everything was considered to be a very good presentation. So I carried that to ISRO, and I had shared that with a few scientists, and I said, we're going to be building satellites and rockets. And they were like, yeah, the presentation is good and everything is good, but where is the team? India is still not open for a private sector coming into this industry because it's still niche. And I just showed my team, which were all 8th graders, 10th graders, and 11th graders. They started laughing and they said, first run, get away from here, go, let them all study, let them do their, basics, graduation, then post-graduation. Only then they will be mature enough to handle all this. Imagine a rocket with 700, 800 crores, and you just go and put a satellite there, and if anything happens, the entire thing goes a bomb. That's it. And India was building only 1 or 2 rockets a year and launching. Our own huge satellites were being launched by France, from France. We were not doing it here. So then for us, we just walked and we thought, okay, we will get an opportunity and all that. But then that day we realized, okay, there is so much to it. But not taking the step back. I said, let's do something different. So instead of sending a satellite in a rocket, we started off with high altitude balloons. So it was like a small tweak where instead of going to space, we go near space. So we start from LKG, then go to graduation and then graduation. So we mentally prepare ourselves and we started working on that. And that itself was a huge thing because there was no precedence. Nobody ever launched that. So the process of getting a license to launch, that was a huge task because you need to get from PGCA and, and everybody, it was so new that, the collector was scared to give a permission. What if anything happens and, it falls on somebody's head, the payload falls on somebody's head. The commissioner said, no way, we are not going to do this because anything happens, it's a state security. Then airport authority, if anything happens to the flights. So everybody, they were just passing the ball, passing the ball. But internally they were all excited that
But they
something new
didn't
was
know that
happening.
they were interacting with Dr. Srimathy. Sorry to interject. When I said they didn't know that they were talking to Dr. Srimathy, who's going to make it all happen.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Harpreet
Yeah.
ji. So this is what happened just one day before the launch. With so much of nervousness and with anger and so many emotions, mixed emotions. I call DGCA because they are the people who need to give the permission, and then I have to go to the airport authority where I need to sign bonds and everything. Luckily, that's where you are so persistent to do something. I think universe conspires, and that's what happened because.
Wonderful.
I just called, and the director of DGCA, who's the IAS officer, the next rank to the minister, he picked up, hello. And I could sense the anger. And I just gave a pause. And then, after about 30 seconds, then I said hello. And, this is what I explained. He was so sweet. And he said, oh my God, something like this is going to happen in India. We're so proud, that you're taking the first step. Yes, I will never forget this gentleman. And he was so happy. He said, I will get the letter for you. Can you believe he held the phone and he typed the letter and he forwarded it?
Wow.
So,
Kudos.
absolutely.
This is really divine intervention.
Yes, 1000%. I believe on that because space is one industry, and I do believe that you are also in the aerospace department and in that industry. So you don't choose this industry; the industry chooses you.
Yeah,
I have
that's a good
very
point.
strong conviction on that.
Yeah,
So
that's a very important point which you just raised. And so maybe all the students who are listening to you today, maybe you just open up your heart and mind and soul, and the space is going to choose you. I think going by what Dr. Srimathy is just saying. Yeah,
absolutely.
in fact, since today's topic for 2025, chosen by the Indian government, is empowering Indian youth for global leadership in science and innovation for a developed India. So you are actually leading the way exactly with the theme of the National Science Day of 2025. So that's really wonderful. And can you tell us what exactly happened after you got the approval? How did
Okay,
it
thank
go?
you.
And can you share your experience? Yes.
That's a huge story because after that I just will put it in a nutshell. We got the permissions and then we launched the before the launch we had so many technical snacks in the middle of the night, and we had to solve so many issues and all that. That really made us so strong and think in different dimensions, because science doesn't just like that give you results. You need to really put in that effort to get your results. And of course, cutting the long story, because if I have to talk about that one launch, it's going to take at least about 2 hours, which I do not want to do because there are so many other things that we have done. So after that, we successfully launched the next day, and we retrieved the payload, which is, I don't know, the best part, the best joy, I should say. We got lovely pictures clicked because we sent a camera up. So it was beautiful, near space was so beautiful. Stratosphere, about 40 kilometers, near
You
space.
went that high. Oh,
Yes.
that's pretty high, actually. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then, we won the Limca Book of Records. We won a space in the Limca Book of Records and all that, which was like so nice. And this was the first step into the space industry, the actual space industry. And from there on, moved to suborbital launches and then orbital. And ours is the only woman-led organization in the world to have launched 27 space missions, and all with high
Wow.
university students.
Amazing, amazing. Kudos to you. And in fact, when I met you first time, that's what impressed me the most, that you have the passion, the zeal, and you're a woman, and that has not stopped you, because women can do everything that a man can do. And because I personally believe a lot in that. So we really hit it off well in the very first time, and that's why we signed the MOU with you as
Yes.
well. So, that's wonderful. And we're really, really proud of the energy, of the effort that you're putting into this wonderful launch for India. It's also bringing
Thank
India
you.
on a very,
Yes,
elevated space. It's the science, it's the students, it's the youth, and it's India, so it's everything put together.
absolutely.
You are
Well,
also part of the G100 India team along with me, and we are really passionate about the space technology and aviation wing. So what is your next step? What are you looking forward to now after
so
all these
from
achievements?
from there on, we moved to building the world's lightest and first ever 3D printed satellite, the Kalam
Wow.
Sat, that went up a NASA Stereo Orion rocket. So
Wow.
it was step by step. We were really getting into the industry and getting a hang of how things worked. And absolutely, I should say it's divine intervention that we started off with the balloon, because we could understand the nuances of building an orbital satellite is not that easy. So when we first built in 2019, I mean, we built the satellite in 6 days. It was
Wow.
terrific. It was terrific. I mean, a lot of
And
the
how many
commitments.
students? How
It
many
was about
students helped
it was
you?
about 12 students.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. And they could manage such a big job.
Yes.
Wow. And this
Yes.
is all in Chennai, or what was the location?
This is from Sriharikota. It went in the PSLV.
Sriharikota. Okay, the
Yeah,
correct, the same
PSLV
place of, yeah, okay.
PSLV 44, where the first time India, that is ISRO, was trying to put something in the fourth stage, and of the rocket, and so that it doesn't become a debris. At least that place is created for students to run their experiments and everything. That was a wonderful thought, I should say. So it gave us a leverage to do something like that, and no looking back. Then we moved on to Satish Dhawan said, and then we moved on to Azadi Sat, which I would like to speak about, because that is where the empowerment, youth empowerment, and especially for the girls' empowerment, I should say, because
Okay.
I advocate for girls. It's the man's world, they say, and this industry is full of men, and of course, yes. I mean, I wouldn't say no, I mean, somebody is stopping us from coming, but it is the self-doubt many a times, women have,
Yes.
whether, we are good with technology, whether we can move forward, because this industry is something so big that, so many calculations and everything are there. So are we good with precision and everything? But there are so many women behind the men. They wouldn't want to come in the forefront. So 14 to 19% of women globally are in the space industry, and only 3 to 4% in the leadership roles. So that is where
Right.
I thought, we need to have some shift in that, some change. And how can we bring in change? We need to catch these girls when they are very young. Once the
Absolutely.
mind is matured and once they start thinking, then, it becomes more like, somebody is always saying that women are made for fashion industry, food industry, and, things like that. So before all these things can be like a stigma in their mind, cashed in. So that's where we built the Azadi Sat, handpicking about 750 rural girls of India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and teaching them the nuances of building a satellite, building a payload. Start from spelling SPACE. And
Right.
they've, so many villages did not have datas, internet facility, laptops. We said nothing should stop you from learning. We will try, see how to push, facilitate, bring people that, and finally, this is the result. Oh,
Can you put it a little closer? Yeah, that it's seen.
yeah.
And
So
you can read it out along. Yeah.
yeah, so this is the Azadi Sat that was, built. 75 payloads were built by 75 schools, 10 children from each school, and our team integrated this, and we launched it on 23rd of February 2023. So for the
Wow.
7th of the Indian independence, our honorable Prime Minister was so happy. He interacted with a couple of girls, And he was so proud. He said, "Oh my God, children talk, young girls in 8th grade and 9th grade are able to speak about satellites. That's a moment of pride." And, some of these children, especially from the Kashmir area and all, they were like, we handpicked 10 of them. Finally, only 2 could make it. But yet, they walked down to a temple where, they could get some little bit of internet and data and everything. They learned everything. Today, they're all ambassadors, and they all stand proud and tall, stating that we want to do something for India. So it is the patriotism, and space has brought that oneness, unity, and patriotism. So I'm super, super proud and thrilled that, we were able to embark on that journey. And
that's so lovely. That's so lovely and such a good thought. You're absolutely right. The space is what actually binds us together, because it's the openness, the expansion of your soul, if you want to call it that way. And you can feel that you connect to the divine source. This is where my Harps Foundation, I think we mentioned that to you earlier, which is, serving the world with love and peace. And actually, space has a lot of natural, it's such a natural catalyst to make this happen. Like even when we meditate every day, we are going into space without using rocket, of course. And the rocket enabler, the science, when it marries the spirituality, is when actually, magic happens, where there's everything happening in an expanded consciousness. So on this special National Science Day, we really are amazed with the effort that you've put in. And I know you have a very big mission set for the future. Maybe you want to share some thoughts about that as well.
Sure. So this is culminated into a huge mission, because, as you rightly mentioned, the connect that we have with the universe, the space is borderless, and we feel so open. And when we feel that, there are no borders in space, why borders on Earth? We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is one Earth, one family. So that way, we, I should say it actually was a divine thought that came in. I was to meet Elon Musk the next day, and, about 10 of us were chosen, and ISRO had asked us, and our InSpace chairman had asked us to prepare the 30-second speech and all that. And I was like, what am I going to speak? Elon Musk has got everything on Earth, with regards to technology. God.
And now he's even more powerful.
With Trump.
Yes.
God, something, put something in my head that even Elon Musk is not done. Yeah. And that's when, middle of the night, I get this spark. Very honestly, this is the truth, Harpreet ji. This is what happened. I'm just dreaming. 108 countries, 108 children each, which is 12,000 children sitting around a spacecraft. And I'm sitting there, and we are having picture, and this spacecraft is going to be launched to the moon. I was like, literally, I was breathless. I was literally breathless. I could feel that I woke up. I woke up to see it was darkness around. It was real darkness around. And, I felt, oh my God, this is a dream, and this is not reality. But then I said, what comes here, I think, was supposed to be a divine blessing, and it's a journey. So.
So, Dr. Srimathy, you were telling us for your future plan. We are very excited to hear.
It is not a future plan. It is the upcoming mission, I should say.
Wonderful.
Because we are already in the mission. The mission was inaugurated on 16th of January. And we've onboarded all the 108 countries. And now we are going to be onboarding 108 children from each country. Then after about 150 hours of training, we're going to be handpicking one child from each country, bring them to India. And, along with the ambassadors and all that. It's going to be about 300 people coming to India in the month of January of 2026. Imagine, it's going to be the Space Olympics, I should say. first ever time in history. It's going to be an all-girls mission to the moon.
Wonderful. I'm so excited to be watching this journey, participating with you, and watching your action plan actually materializing, which I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
So really kudos to that effort and brilliant strategy to bring so many countries together and India leading the way and a woman leading the way. It's like total, Goddess Durga Shakti now.
Yes,
It's
yes,
like, it's
absolutely.
beautiful, it's wonderful. And any closing thoughts?
Well, I would say that space is for everybody. And if you have to connect to the ultimate space there, I think you need to have a clear consciousness here. And
Absolutely.
this space will connect to that space. And that's where, our mission is working on a comprehensive, not only on building a spacecraft, but to give every girl child the power to face everything in the world. All the challenges come what may be. Don't stop. Take that first step, and universe will just walk you through. So please be bold, brave, and feel confident in whatever you do. Keep that smile.
So wonderful. And what a brilliant way to hear you on this special day of National Science Day. And we'll keep in touch. And I'm sure a lot of students are going to be approaching you very soon after they hear you about this mission that you've planned. And it is so exciting, so energizing. And I'm sure all the students are going to flood you with their wish to be part of this beautiful journey. And wish you all the best for this initiative and Jai Hind. And thank you so much for being with us on this National Science Day.
Thank you so much, Harpreet ji, and Jai Hind.